All right, so at this point, you should have your house somewhat uh, categorized, like the rooms and windows and indoors, and how you would navigate your house. So this is sort of my um, this is my apartment. So over here would be the other side of our apartment, but we're just focusing on this. And like I told you before in another video, our front door is right here, but I decided to make it here, and then I also decided to include a back door. We do have a back door that goes here and then into a laundry room and then goes back, but this is going to be sort of like the kitchen area I'm going to design, and then maybe have like in between high top, and then this can be like the living room slash dining area. Um, so it's a two bedroom right now, and I think I'm going to keep it that way. So these are the two bedrooms, and then this would be the bathroom. So the layout's all there. As we go, I might decide to make this maybe I'll open this room up also, because I think that would be kind of cool to have this whole area opened up, and then it would become a one bedroom, but uh, it would still be kind of cool to have this all opened up and make this sort of like a work study area, and then this could actually be the bedroom and bathroom. But that can wait till later as we keep tweaking the project as we go. So what I wanted to show you is that you can actually, what we're going to do is create more parts for the house. So we're going to create cabinets, we're going to create a sofa, we're going to create chairs, tables, that sort of stuff. But I don't want to create it within this one part. So we are going to create it within a part studio. So a part studio is kind of like where you can have all your parts, and then the assembly is going to be where you take all your parts and make them whole, make them one thing. So right now we have our house floor plan. I'm gonna right click on that, rename it to house floor plan. So now I'm going to hide my house, and when I do that, I'm going to create another part. So go to the front, and I'm going to start by creating a sofa. So before you start creating furniture and stuff, you're going to want to look at your space, right? So I want to put some sort of sofa inside of this room. So I'm going to kind of look at like the walls and what I have to work with, and I can do that with a measuring tool. So you do kind of know the measurements, but it's good to kind of check to make sure that you're dealing with the right lengths and widths. So this right here is 20 feet. So knowing that, I have quite a bit of space to put a sofa, and I'm going to check over here to see. So the parallel distance is 16 feet. So that means the distance between this entity, this wall, and this wall is 16 feet. So I have a 20 by 16 space. So I got quite a bit of space to put a sofa. So knowing that, I'm going to hide my floor plan again, go to front. I'm going to go into dimensions.com, and this is I dropped it into our classroom, and it's really cool. It has all sorts of categories and different things that you can look up, so plants, and it gives you information and dimension on so many different things. Um, so what we're going to be looking at is furniture, and you can look up all different kinds, like specific kinds of furniture, and you can look at through availability, popularity, all sorts of stuff. So sectional sofas is what I want to sort of look at, and now you can kind of look at the different types of sofas that there are. So looking at a little bit, I kind of like this. That's cool because it allows you to lay out. But I kind of want something that closes off, but maybe not completely. Um, Actually, I'll just go with this one. So this is called a arena sectional with chassis maybe. Um, and what's cool about this is it gives you your dimensions. So we can actually take these dimensions and create the part. So going back into, and again, they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to, as long as the overall dimension is what we're going for. So a 120, we can even bring this down to a 120 by 62, or one. If you wanted to do the half inch, that's fine too. So it's 120 by, um, and then this part here is 62, and looks like it is 17.75 inches tall. So with that knowledge, I'm going to start creating the part. I'm going to start creating my sofa. Go into here, go into here. So now I'm back in Onshape. This is a nice function. You just kind of drag a page up against the side, and it'll jump in here. So all right. So we can do the feet last. So I'll start with the overall sort of thing. So let's control or shift S is your hotkey to jump in, and I'm going to jump into the front plane, and then you can get rid of your planes if you don't really like seeing them by clicking P, and that'll toggle on and off a plane. I don't mind seeing them, so I just kind of keep them on. So the first thing, I'm just going to click on, and right away I'm noticing that we're dealing with very low, very small instances here, small dimensions. So I'm going to make sure the workspace units are in inches. So inches will be better for this because we are now working with furniture. We're not working with the house plan. So, and I'm going to go back into the sketch and dimension this out. So looks like it's 30 inches to the top. So I'm going to put in 30. And if it's huge, I'm just going to click on front, and that'll get me up here. And the planes aren't doing much for me anymore, so I toggled them off. Create this dimension, which is 120.5. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? We're making it as good as we can. The next step is I am going to I'm going to give this box some dimension, and I'm going to extrude it. And as soon as I extrude it, it becomes part 2. So part 2 is going to be arena sectional couch. And I'm going to bump this out a foot, so 12 inches, so it'll give us a nice backrest. So part 2 is here, so I'm going to rename that to arena sectional couch. And right now it's just a rectangular block, but it's a start. So it looks like the entire width, this span here, is 61.5 inches. So what I can do is create another square off of here, sketch, and that square I'm going to make 17.75 inches tall. So hit D for your smart dimension, and 17.75 inches tall. I guess that's right. Looks kind of tall. It looks pretty high, but that makes sense because there's cushions and stuff. So 17.75, and now I am going to extrude it. Doesn't give us this length here, but I'm going to make the assumption that these three are equal. These three are equal. So, and there's about probably a 6 inches on each side for the arms. So quick and easy. So 6 inches. So 6 inches plus 6 inches is a foot. So 12 inches minus the whole length. So 120.5 minus 12, right? Gives me 108.5. I'm going to divide that by 3 to get my 3 different sections. So about 36 inches. Okay, so extrude this other way. $36, but I also need to add that other 6 inches, so it's actually going to be 42 because of the arm. Check it off, and we're good. So now what we can do is create the arm here. I'm going to create a 6-inch arm, and I'm going to have that come out. It's about half the distance, so a good 30 inches from here. So click on this, click on sketch. Dimension D, click on D. D. Make that a 6-inch arm by 30. Actually, looking at that now, it looks a little too small. So I'm actually going to go ahead and make that 8 inches. And guys, as you can see, everything isn't 100%, but it's good. It's good enough, right? It's accurate enough. So it looks like the arm is maybe like an inch higher than all the other stuff, or a couple inches higher. So I'm going to go ahead and extrude this up by 2 inches. So I get the arm a little bit up. And now I want to cut this out. So, and there's a lot of different ways you could be doing this. So I'm just showing you a way that I'm going to use. From here to here, here, remove it, remove, click on what I'm going to remove, change the condition to through all, check it off. Cool. All right. So now we're gonna put in 2 more of these sections that is about the length of this. So I'm going to extrude on here, and I'm going to extrude this corner. Oops. So I'm going to create a sketch here. So sketch, and I need to create my arm, which is, click D for the dimension, 8 inches. And we decided that it was 2 inches taller, so 17.75 plus 2, right? Because that was the height, and then we decided we're going to make it 2 inches taller. Check it off, extrude it out, and we're going to pull this out to 30. Let's say 30. I believe so. 30 inches. Now we got the other arm. And yeah, it looks blocky, but so does Roblox. And you know what? To give it a little more dimension, I'm going to cut out the top so that it is its own complete arm. So you can get as detailed as you want. So sketch on here. I always do that. I have SolidWorks habits. So sketch, and I'm going to create the sketch from there to there, from here to here, and remove it. All, check it. All right, so that looks a little more like a couch, or the couch that we're trying to make. And now I'm just going to create 3 more of these sections. So I'm going to create, basically, I'm just going to have an extrusion from here to here. And I'm going to start on this. Create a sketch. And I'm going to create a square from here to about here, and I'm just going to make it 2 inches, 2 inches smaller in height, and I'm gonna give the actually I'll keep yeah I'll give the arm another inch. So D for dimension. So 2 inches here. Keep it uniform, and then I'm gonna give it an inch there. So it gives a little bit of dimension to the arm. And extrude it. And for the condition, I'm going to put up to next, and that's going to get me there. Check it off. And now I have my couch. So this is going to be a part that is going to be placed into here. So right now they're separate parts, which is fine. So don't freak out if they're overlapping and whatever else, because they are separate parts. And when we assemble them, and when we create the assembly, we're going to be able to move these parts wherever we want in the house. So good luck on creating a, a very cool furnished designed house. I'm going to keep going here a little bit, and I'm going to cut off some more just to make it, I'm going to give it some legs and give it some more dimension, maybe round it off a little bit so it's not so square. So you're welcome to keep watching, or you're welcome to check out this dimension site and look at all different kinds of furniture and begin. All right, those of you still watching, I am going to take off a couple inches from the bottom, maybe 3 inches. So to do that, I'm just going to come down here on the bottom, and I don't really need this anymore, so I'm going to expand my screen. I'm going to click here, and sketch, convert entities. So the user project convert, that's just going to give me the entities of that space. I'm going to extrude it. I'm going to remove a couple inches. So here we'll remove 3.5. So we'll give it some nice legs. So the legs are going to be 3.5 inches. And again, we want to get them so that they're in the right area. I'm going to make them circular. So sketch here. Circular. One leg. Two legs. Three legs. Four legs. Five. 6. 7. This one in the middle here. 8. All right. right, so we got 8 legs. I'm going to click them all, so select them all, and I'm going to click equal. So now they are all equal, so if I make a dimension on them, they're all going to change. So the diameter is going to be 4 inches. And I should have done that before, so I will do that. So Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. So now they're all different widths. I'm going to dimension one of them to 4 inches. And now I'm going to select all of them and make them equal. Cool. So it didn't move them in a crazy position. So now I'm just going to move this so that it is within area. And again, guys, this is not exact science, so it's creative and artistic. And I mean, we can make these a little bit more uniform, especially. It'll just make it look better too. So if we connect all of these, and then line. So I want this to be vertical, this to be horizontal, and this to be the midpoint. So midpoint here to midpoint here. I want this to coincide. And that looks pretty good. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit and bring this over a little bit. And I do kind of want to line these up. So here to here, make sure that's construction. So right click, construction, and I'm going to make that vertical. And I'm going to extrude 3.5 inches. Check it off. Check out the front. There we go. That looks pretty cool. So gives us some legs. So not bad. So I'm going to continue and make these look a little bit more like cushions. So I'm going to have some gaps in here. I'm going to create a sketch here. And create a very thin rectangle. And then another very thin rectangle. So I'll line that up. Use a construction line. dimension this to, we'll call it 0.5, so half of an inch. So nothing too big. And then from here, I'm going to create another square. I'm going to dimension this out to 1/2 inch. So that looks pretty good. And if I remove it, I'm only going to remove it a couple inches just to give us some dimension. About 4 inches. How does that look? Okay, 1/2 foot looks decent. Cool. So, yeah, so I mean, it looks good. I think it's going to even look better if I then take and put a little more detail into it. So take um, another square, put it along here, create the sketch, another square here to this wall, and I'll keep them uniform. So we're using 2 inches. Oop, not 2 inches, 1/2 inch, 0.5. Why did I do that? Let's take a look. It looks like it automatically. Okay, let's try that again. Sometimes it automatically snaps and you don't want it to. So all right, so we go in the front. So we're going to take this quarter rectangle, come in here, and go down here. So, and I want to dimension it 1/2 inch. Make my cut. Moving. And we'll see how 5 inches or 6 inches looks. All right, so they're floating a little bit, but gives us a little more authenticity. And I think that looks pretty good. So we can kind of round off the edges if we want, or we can keep it square. So I think I'm going to try to round things off a little bit, just to give it some more dimension, and maybe an inch radius. I'll try 5 inch. 5 inch there. How about a 5 inch there? it off a little bit. Maybe round off some more in the front, maybe so all the sharp edges are a little bit rounded off. On the cushions, so it doesn't look like a prison cell, concrete block. So maybe make it 0.5, so it's not too round, but alright. Kind of looks like a little bit of a pattern. So yeah, I think it looks good. So there you have it, a sectional, an arena sectional. So now when we do have our house, we're going to be able to place it in. And another cool feature is you can right click on your sectional, edit appearance, and we can make it a red couch. And we can make our house gray, like a light color. So that's what we're going to be doing, guys. So you can keep sort of creating furniture for the living room. So the next thing I'm going to create is probably going to be a TV or a TV stand, and maybe I did mention a fireplace in an example, so that would be kind of cool. So I could create a fireplace, and then when we assemble that, we'll place that in. So good luck.